Welcome back to Cloud9 Academy versus Counter Logic Gaming Academy. We are currently one game in with C9 up, and that was a heck of a game. We had some over 30 kills, a 33-minute game. That's what I like to see as a play-by-play, and I'm sure it was fun to analyze too, Crumbs.
We can sum it up in 2 words, Riv.
Hit me.
Lucian top.
Yeah,
that's the kind of game we had, and
like
it's the one where he wins. You know what that looks like when he loses. We know exactly what it looks like when he wins as well. Very bloody, very aggressive, and they kept their foot on the pedal the whole way through, really. It wasn't the quickest Cloud9 game, but it was one where it never felt like the game was going to slip away from their control.
And I feel like that's a composition for Cloud9 where you haven't really showed much. Obviously, you're an aggressive team, and everybody on your team plays these champions, and now they can iterate on that comp, keeping some in. If one's banned, it doesn't matter, and they can go back to playing what they have momentum on. So I love that style of play and not needing an all-out, we're just doing this, or we're going to poke, and now we're not going to poke anymore kind of thing. I always felt Cloud9 is good at leaving you wondering, even after game 1.
And that leaves me wondering what went down in between these two teams in their scrims, because the Rek'Sai and the Vlad continue to be banned, but a different order for the Rek'Sai this time. So that tells me that CLG is thinking about switching things up, not willing to give anything away to Cloud9 in what their bans are going to be. Kalista and Caitlyn were the 2 champions that remain banned from round 1. Let's see if they stay here, and C9 goes back to the set.
9 seconds. C9 taking their time. They will find Caitlyn.
Yeah, Kalista. Yeah, so
good call.
Nothing changed.
Good call.
I thought they'd changed it, but looks like we're getting a little bit of a run back vibes. Okay, wait a minute. You know they're just going to pick Lucian against you again. Okay, at least they denied the Senate, but you know what's happening. Top lane, did you like how that went down? I certainly did not.
I think same thing applies, right, to what I said about C9 in a way for CLG. And CLG always wants the initiation comp, but they can iterate on that. So they still get Vi, because Vi's not going to be banned. They have the Gangplank. They have a little bit more, and they still fit in a few things for initiation and global. Maybe they get the TF for mid here for Tuesday if he doesn't want the Azir, which was left up for him. He did well on it. And there's your Ashe for Cloud9. You love the arrow. It's your favorite right now.
Well, they're probably just going to pick jungle here, unless they want to blind a mid that they think is going to be banned, or give Fragga something crazy or so. Ori, pretty safe blind, but depending on how creative Palafox can get, there's quite a bit that can do well against Orianna. I'm thinking those long-range mages like the Ziggs, the Kog'Maws, heck, even champions like Zoe can have a fair time.
I like it.
Okay, Lucian ban. At least give me the Lucian ban. Actually,
Lucian's up.
What am I thinking about? It's already banned.
See, I did it first game. So
it's already picked. They put themselves in this position.
There's the Akali. Ooh!
Finally, someone's done it.
Respect for Vi. Also, I don't want to deal with this on Ashe, please, or Lucian. Thank you. Because I don't know if C9 wants to be able to run their protection for that this game. Fudge is going to be going in, and he's going to want damage dealers firing bullets over his shoulders. So what goes in the mid lane? And then you got to have something on the bot side here.
I like the Bard ban. Bard is just too strong of a champion. You can have a terrible time. He's a lot like Blitzcrank, actually, where you can be very useless for a lot of the game and still have incredible impact and single time, and you win the fight. And beyond that, we forget how much value Diamond gave to Fudge in the top lane with the biscuits. As far as we know, Deus could have said, hey, I would have been fine in this lane if the Bard just didn't give him those darn biscuits. I would have definitely stayed healthier. It wouldn't have been such a rough early game. So maybe the Bard ban is the difference maker in the GP Lucian match.
It did change a few things, right? He was able to go aggro. I want to see a heck room here on Cloud9's comp. There is not much crowd control right now on the side of CLG, and he's up against a Trundle. There's the Azir takeaway. Obviously, Palafox plays it. If they hover that one for a bit here with their final 2 picks, they're going to take all the time that they need to figure this one out. Haven't seen too much volley here for the side of C9 or CLG lately. Also
He
be
got a
something
little
they
bit
can champion.
nerfed.
Right,
so
right.
they're not that thrilled about him, despite him still being a very good champion.
All right, they let the clock run out on his ear. They know they wanted it. They just hovered it. That's his play into Orianna. Makes the game pretty difficult for Ori, as she just has to wait, command, move all the time, and push back against each other. So we'll have to see what jungle intervention happens there in mid.
Rakan.
Set jungle.
Okay. So there's a lot of different combinations that you can pair with the Ashe. One that I saw lately that was actually pretty nasty. I don't remember where it was. I do remember. It was yesterday's series, Riff. It was the Ashe Soraka from TSM. That combo was so nasty. It was arrow into the Equinox, and there is no chance to escape that.
Gross.
So the idea is the hard engage comboed into another CC, and it's going to be the Leona, the classic answer to the Rakan. He goes in, you stun him, and you pop him. And with the Senna, you have a ridiculous amount of burst.
I love the way CLG works with this too. You know, back in their minds, they're like, all right, if we lose out Vi, then we can fit Leona into the comp. We have Vi, basically. And then we go on somebody if we can hit them. So really enjoy that. They always find a way to get the variety picks in there to make sure they have the engages they want, and for sure engages. They just have to watch for the shuffle, the arrow, the showstopper, the quickness. Again, Cloud9 just able to put together this composition that is fierce, can fight, and also get a bit of split push on.
And it's going to be a little harder for these top lane Lucians to have such an impact when CLG now has actual tanks in their lineup. Yes, Vi and Rakan built tanky, but they're not inherent tanks. When you have a Trundle and a Leona, you can actually stand in the front line and create space for your Orianna, for your Senna and GP to dish out damage. So if they fight front to back, it's going to look a lot better for CLG this time around.
Absolutely agree. You're going to have to see that Lucian in the side lane and somebody else pushing as well as we get this game going. We will have to see, though. I'm still watching mid lane. Tuesday versus Palafox. Azir versus Orianna here. So much Azir, but Orianna, one of my favorites, and I always love watching to see how people get to that level 6 and then enter the fight phase. It's like one Ori ult can change an entire game. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see. So we're going to be stepping away right now to build a bit of delay, but when we come back, we will have our second game from the start. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We're about to get into Champion Select for Game 2 of Cloud9 Academy versus Counter Logic Gaming Academy, and what is your last semifinal of Academy Split Summer 2020. And we're going to see who faces off against TSM, if they can move on. TSM with a pretty great game against Evil Geniuses in that 3-0, and now we're seeing if Cloud9 can do the same, as they have come out with a dominant Game 1, Crumbs.
If they can show off with a 3-0 here, it would make the finals really hype, but also sad for CLG that wasn't able to take a win here. But they at least know what they're getting into, Riv. They are going to be facing the same Illusion top against the Gangplank. I think it's going to be the iconic match of this game as it was in Game 1. It's going to be a little bit easier now, but CLG have given themselves more hard engaged tools than before, and I think that this is going to be how they function best.
And you're prepped, right? You know Cloud9 is out for blood. They are going to go top a few times. Deus is on Gangplank again. You're going to get ganked. That's just how it happens, and he's ready for that. Maybe the wards will come earlier. Maybe they get just a different start on the side of the map to make sure he's going up towards top and will be top on what would be a roam. But the early game has to be a bit different. They found Fraggus so much. And Crumbs, you know as a jungler, if you have a UAV online, there's not much you can do.
Oh, the great reference there. Yes, it is very annoying. That's why I love having Ashe on my team and why it is so important to track the jungler, because if you know where they are, nobody should be dying to it. So I think that C9 would like to do the exact same game plan as they did last game. You've got Lucian building up a big wave in the top lane. Set starts bot side. Path is all the way to the top. They dive with a wave and a level advantage. And this time, they could also use the Azir teleport to get into the fight in case Fraggus wants to intervene.
Yeah, I'm ready for all the teleport fights. I want CLG to be setting the pace this game. Our Samsung Fast 5 stats show us that these teams are fast to that first blood at 6. They share that 6-minute mark. Cloud9's been trying to move that number a little in their favor, but the Drakes and the objectives, once a team starts to get them in Cloud9 or CLG, just become theirs. It seems like they keep rolling with it. The pace of the game is where their wards can be first. They're first to the action, and we saw that from C9 100% last game. So I believe CLG can still do the same thing. Let's see if they get the start they need here.
They need a really good start because their composition is not strong early. They are going to all be shoved in. They're just going to be hoping to get those level 6s, get those items, and then they'll come online. But it's not like C9 won't have anything to say about it. They definitely have got enough in their composition to take down these tanks, even when the stone plates and the subjugates come out for CLG. So big eyes on the top lane thus far. And Fraggus starting on the red. Pathing to the bot side makes me think that they either are planning an invade on the blue buff of Inori, or they're just leaving Deus out to dry.
Yeah, it seems it. Fraggus is going to say, good luck up there. I'm fine, I have oranges, is the answer, I guess. As Inori begins his chimkins. He'll start to scrape those up and get himself off in the jungle as well. I'm excited to actually see if they do go for Deus first. An initiation quickly onto Diamond as the first Zenith Blade out of Phil. Trades them pretty equally here. Got the heals from Diamond to come out on his little feathers, so not too much of a problem. And red to blue. Quickly for Fraggus to make sure nobody's touching his bluff.
Red to blue, pathing back to the top side most likely, since Phil and Wind don't have level 2 and won't have level 2 before Tomo and Diamond. There's no point in looking for a gank down here, so he better just move his way all the way back to the top lane. And the first Hawk shot just came out. We saw it on the minimap. They know exactly where Fraggus is because they saw that the red buff was taken. Nobody was in this red quadrant, and that Gromp and Raptors, Krugs and Raptors were still available. So they know they have a small window if they're actually going to kill the Gangplank.
Deus just warded top. As soon as they saw Fraggus, he's like, nope, I need to know where it warded it. And we do see the push from Fudge coming in, and maybe Deus has played it slightly better, but there's no real discrepancy in their health bars as they go back and forth, and he can get the oranges now. Those first few levels were not affected by the Coco of Bard being in his lane. So And there it is on the ward. Gets the Scryer's move. Figure that
Deja
one
vu.
out. Deus is like, nope, not this time. Quickly buddies up with Fraggus just away from the turret. And look at the pressure, too. A giant caster wave and the cannon going into the turret. Timing is perfect from last game as well, right? So this time it will not happen. Fraggus does a great job of getting his jungle path online to meet a Nori top.
The big thing last time was that Fraggus ended up getting caught. Instead, he just keeps his distance away from the set. He's already caught onto his tricks and doesn't die to it. But we got a 2v2 in the bottom.
I can attack your support better than you can attack your AD better than you can attack mine is the case of bot lane right now. Both supports going straight to the back line, and the AD's left to fight the front. I like seeing this. Tomo healing up. Wynn's going to just win that on health, so they got to be careful on C9.
Wind is filling the sails of the bottom lane.
He's got it. I'll give you that one. That was a good one. Laughing at that side.
Thank you.
Tuesday. Oh, I was expecting Palafox to use that last bit of mana there, and he was hoping he leveled up just before it happened. Well, unfortunate. Could have been a kill if he had just a bit more to shuffle on in. And it looks like he'll easily clean this up. Teleport in for Tuesday. He's back and ready. Ooh, second Dark Seal becomes a Doran's Ring quickly. And he changes that buy to get a Vision Ward in for himself. Hi, Fraggus. Don't worry, we see you, says Tomo again.
Drops a control ward there for his bot lane, being very kind. And it looks like CLG's approach this time is simply to play counter. They do not want to go for any gank themselves. They just want to make sure that their lanes can farm safely. They are falling behind, though. Every single lane is having a hard time laning against C9, but it's what you would have expected from C9, the reigning champions against CLG, the up-and-comers, the contenders here, the last-place team from Spring. So if C9 sees that they are gaining advantages just by laning, they are not going to have a problem just keeping this the pace as long as the gold keeps coming into their pockets.
Nori on his second run around now with the Bomby Cinder, even faster clear as ping goes down onto Drake. It's going to be Cloud to start us off. That's what we saw Cloud9 just basically able to own the map with last game. Owned all objectives, to be honest. And that team of having a Blade of the Rune King around the map, as well as a Senna on the bot side, just able to tear through objectives.
Same
Nori
thing.
now starting off.
Same thing as last time. Inori does Dragon when Fraggus is looking for action in the top side, and he didn't have the sweeper active, so he wasn't able to know that he was spotted, so he's just going to continue to waste his time since Inori started on the blue side. So the Gromp and the Wolves that Fraggus could have potentially counter-jungled are not available, and he's back to square one, doing the Krugs, but quite some time behind as he's 11 CS behind Inori and a big objective.
Works out well. Tuesday switched to heal after teleporting back, so he's now to back to lane a second time with Tomo and Diamond push. That was an easy Drake here. So Cloud9 is doing everything at their own pace again, but just a little slower this game, as we have no kills just yet. I think we were going to kill a minute for quite a while or over last game. All quiet on the home front just now. Pings around blue buff, so they figure Nori is at least towards the bottom side here as Deus finally gets the first bit of damage. Culling is up for Fudge as he can't get past the terrain to deliver the last few shots. And Deus is able to clean that up.
The wave at least crashes now onto the gangplank, and with Inori being away, he knows he can grab all the CS and not be scared, especially since Fudge has to base. He's out of mana, he's exposed, and he's got no vision anymore in the top side of the map. With Inori invading the blue, he should know that, hey, unless Fraggus shows up, it's a good chance his Trundle is in the top lane, hunting for me like he did in game 1 with the Vi, and he's definitely hunting, but he might just lose this blue buff right from under his nose.
Well, one's bot. Palafox tries to get out, shuffles right over the trophy there, and now we're probably going to see Fraggus try to move to the bot lane. It's a 3v2. I don't think he'll be able to do much here anyways. The blue buff transfer over to Tuesday maybe if they can keep themselves in the jungle for a moment. But Inori he's hungry. He's been looking the whole time for a kill, and all he's fighting is PvE right now. He needs some PvP.
If he can keep drawing attention to the bottom side of the map and get Fraggus to show some more, it's only going to help the top side of the map because Fudge just faced. He has a Cutlass now, so the ability to run down GP, take turret shots and heal back up from the minion wave is huge. Gangplank used the ultimate, so he can no longer contain this wave if he has to base. So it's just going to be gold pouring into Fudge's pockets, and he is going to be so happy to be in this position as the Lucian top.
It makes Corrupting Potion so nasty when you're just under the turret, smacking the guy in the face over and over and over. There's the shuffle back. Tuesday trying to make a quick exit towards the top side, and they get a TP out of Diamond on his unsealed, so he's now trying to be support heal, and they'll get a bit of a save on this mid lane wave, quickly making sure Diamond has a safe way back to the bot side, and they see Deus returning top. Good dodge there by Fragus, as I pretty much called it coming around maybe.
A cute look out of Diamond using the Summoner teleport on the Rakan to try to get the Orianna, but it would be really up to Tuesday to misplay that if he is actually going to get caught with a play like that, because it's not like he's getting flanked from behind. It's coming from the same angle.
Ooh, I mean, Diamond flexing right here only because of Nori's close, but CLG knows because they or doesn't know, I should say, because they have no vision past the river. They were really only sentries for themselves, standing in the fog of war. That made it so easy for C9 to push back. C9 now taking the Rift Herald. Looks like Nori will continue to fight the jungle as he just kind of creates body pressure around the map with a little bit of participation to each lane, letting them know he is in the wings trying to make a gank happen for Cloud9. So this pickup could go anywhere for the team now. Plates haven't even really been started. CLG able to get themselves down towards the bot side.
And it's so easy for C9 to go for that Rift Herald when the fourth Hawk shot that we've seen goes by the red side of the jungle for CLG. And so they know, okay, if no one's here, there's no one that's going to contest this objective. And we also know what Fragus is up to, so we can play accordingly. And CLG is just going to continue to bleed out because their composition is not meant for the laning phase. They really come online where they get to group up 5v5, one in the side lanes being the Gangplank, and then taking that 4-on-4 fight with the Gangplank ultimate. So they are just hoping that they can survive, hold on, get those items, and then group up. If they can leave laning phase just 1,000 gold behind, they're gonna be happy.
A nice forward ward placed by CLG. Could give him some options later. I don't know how much Cloud9 is even going to run into that. Cloud9 won't be spending that much time on that side of the jungle from the way they've been playing. And again, credit to the hawk shots of Tomo. On the map that isn't that warded, he's instantly finding CLG and roam. And 2 at a time there with Fragus and Tuesday, which could have been a 4v2 bot lane. They saved themselves a whole lot of grief. And now CLG with that shrine from the Scuttle try to do something here at Mountain. Second Drake of the game, Cloud9 has Cloud as their first.
CLG is without the Gangplank ultimate, and where is GP down here? So he's walked all the way down there, really committing for this.
Win decently far away. Arrow just missing, and Nori goes in. That's going to be a red team take. Fragus gets the Drake for the team, and a bit of an emote happiness as First Blood goes to Phil. Ignite and damage coming down, and Inferno is going to take over our map. A bit of damage going to everybody, whoever can collect that soul. And we're just about even on money here, with C9 still controlling a bit of the flow on the map. Diamond now getting caught towards the bot side, locked up, but he brings that over to Tomo. Oh no, that could be death. They put themselves in a bad spot as Tuesday now fights Palafox in the mid lane. Tuesday has no mana. He's running out of this one and trying to get there quick. Tries to fight back just a little bit more with the mana. He does have Clockwork Wind, a passive, not there for enough damage. Encounter Logic Gaming cannot get the kill as Tomo and Diamond skirt death.
Wow, the fact that Palafox got that kill in the mid lane is huge. I think that is the really big one. The fact that Azir is doing that to Orianna is not a good sign there for CLG. Their efforts went to the bottom lane, and they were losing plates in the top side already. C9 hasn't even popped the Herald yet, but here comes a 4v3.
More TPs coming down. Who's this one going to be? It is Deus to get into the fight, and Inori almost getting locked down there. Win with 200 HP. If Inori does want to turn around, he's trying to bait in the Haymaker to that backside Senna, and he does. Gets him on the crowd control as the rest of the team is just able to lock him down. Double kill for Fragus. That's where you want to see the kills going. If he can become big tanky Trundle, that is going to mean great things for the front line of Counter Logic Gaming and Phil to help him out. Wind now feeling confident, standing tall under the turret as he fights back, and Fudge here is just doing his own thing in Fudge's environment.
Yeah, he's so happy, but we're first going to take a look at this fight.
Oh,
Great
the
dodge
shock.
there. Yeah, and then the exhaust doesn't do a whole lot, but then he knows he's alone. There's a fight happening to the bottom lane. He can splash forward. The Orianna doesn't have enough mana to go through a rotation so quickly as to burst him down. And we are back to live where the Lucian is doing so much work. Twice did Gangplank leave the lane, and this is what happened. The first one, looking for that Mountain Dragon. The second one, TPing to help his bottom lane. So the gold is about 2,000 in the favor of Fudge. It is larger than the gold lead that C9 has.
And it's a few plates in CS. This man is just banking it. Finding money on the floor, looking under the couch cushion and the brush there in the side lane. Even in the Krug's pockets, he's getting everything. And now he's still giving Deus a bit of what for as the turret's there to get a shot onto Fudge. Now he's got Blade of the Rune King damage behind him. A little bit of that percent damage healing him up as well. Now they're just fine and dandy. Fudge backs off as he gives Deus a hard time, up just about 40 CS.
And this is the time where C9 knows that they can start controlling the side lanes really well, because Orianna cannot hold the Azir, as we have seen, and Lucian does whatever he wants against Gangplank. So when C9 chooses to spread out into a 1-3-1 again like they did last game, it is going to spell CLG disaster, because they need to be engaging ASAP. Looks like C9 is thinking about Tuesday. They're going to scoop him up.
Pushes him right out of turret range there. Palafox gets locked down though as he gets kind of shockwaved into his own wall for CC, and that is going to not be a trade though. Palafox made it out alive. I thought he was going down. They get Tuesday, and Cloud9 is just playing this perfectly.
They are so much faster than CLG when it comes to these fights. Every time it seems like CLG was just there eavesdropping as to what C9 was doing on the side, and they're going to claim a Scuttle Crab. That's pretty much the only consolation prize they have, because everywhere else is really suffering to what C9 is bringing to the table.
I honestly looked away from Palafox there to watch the rest of the fight because I thought he was dead. Oh, Tomo fires an arrow, seeing the rest of the team come in as Fragus was flanking him from the side. TP's in the bot lane as 2 stopwatches go down. Now Fudge trying to deliver back the damage, but he doesn't really have a main target. Yes! Finds the backside of Phil on the exit. We'll see if he can do any more here. He's going to try to hold it. Piercing Light only hits 2 of the first minions, but they also don't know where Inori's rotating from right now. With ults down, they feel like they can't take the full fight, even though they have Shockwave there. I'd love to see it. More fights from more fights.
They have to get out of here real quick. The Dragon is coming up in 30 seconds, so Tuesday, who doesn't have anything to shop for, will stay down here. He's going to be careful, because Fudge can definitely pop him.
I was almost going to get my wish.
You wanted Lucian to 1v1 or
no? Yes, absolutely. I know that doesn't end well, but play by plays, you know. 2 turrets.
The culling is a cool ability to cast.
Heck yeah. 2 turrets now in favor of C9. We're looking at the bottom turret standing, and we're already past 14 minutes, so really Cloud9 only needs to get that when they want to move the map. They don't have any plate pressure to go for. And Inori, a little Orianna pressure as he's putting it on there, running after Tuesday. Tuesday running Barrier and Flash now, knowing a fight is coming up and he needs more defensive spells, and the front end burst coming from Cloud9 is enough to take anyone out. Phil's finding that out right now as Inori decides not to pull the trigger on that engage.
That chunk is all they need to go for this Dragon. Leona is too important for this composition to engage, and thus CLG lose the second Dragon of the game. What are they thinking, though? Really? Okay. Going to try to trade the Rift Herald. Looks like C9 has something to say about it, though, because they know this Leona is quite low. They can win a fight even 4v4, as Inori is not here, but soloing the Drake.
I love how Fudge and Palafox are setting up. It's like, oh, they can't get... Oh, wait, they're both over the wall. Now it's a 4v4, but they have to put themselves a little bit closer. First Infernal now over. CLG may want to fight due to that, knowing that Inori is on the bot side of the map. Rift gets taken down. That was over to Palafox? You're kidding me. He's going to be able to walk over. The team's trying to grab it right now. Palafox, I believe, got it. It looked like it went to him, but the eye is gone.
Phil has it, but... Okay.
Oh, Phil has it. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw that wrong then. Win now going down. Fragus is going to get himself out of this fight. It looked like the purple kind of thing was absorbed by Phil. As Palafox goes for the shuffle, Deus almost baits himself back in as Diamond and Fudge and the rest of the team were figuring out who's going to try to get that kill. And Phil did get it. I hope we have a replay on that.
Fudge just snuck behind him and Cold Tuesday 100-0 through the barrier. Just like that. That was it. He just said, all right, I'm just going to delete the Orianna, and this fight is ours. It almost looked too easy out of C9, how they approached that. They're really patient in never giving CLG the opportunity to engage right away. They cornered them. They made sure that CLG felt pressured, and then they pulled the trigger. But, man, that just looked like it was sad to see the Orianna die like that.
You're telling me, Crumps. No, 2-0-2 for Palafox, 2-0-0 for Fudge. Again, just coming through so hard on this. He loves to play aggressive, and he can do whatever he wants on this Lucian once he gets going. So he's having a grand old time this game. Now starting to roam a little bit off the bot lane. Looks like he may just go for Krugs if he knows the team's going to be safe on this play. And yeah, he's already hovering back down to push the wave. Question mark goes down there, and they're going to see him walking right up. As the turret gets pinged, they pulled down Deus for a little janitorial duty on that minion wave. So things are slowing down here for a moment, and I know CLG is going to be happy about that, but they know in just a few minutes, it's going to be right back at it. Cloud9 pushing them as hard as they can.
It's janitorial duty, but the mess never gets cleaned up in this house. It is always Fudge pressing Deus. He has no business dealing with the Lucian, who is so fed. Essence Reaver and the Vork right now. I believe he's maybe building either the Zerkers or even a Phantom Dancer to be even more dually as his next item, but it is just brutal for CLG to deal with. That's why the Trundle pick is so odd, because it does not offer anything against the Lucian if you're trying to help out the Gangplank, which is what the Vi had when the Gangplank was behind. You at least had a way to engage, to zone him off, and let the Gangplank catch up. Because if he's right next to Lucian, he can pop the barrels, use his Q. He at least has a better shot of taking him down.
Palafox and Fudge having an amazing game. I'm sure Fudge is about to hit level 14 here soon. He's Palafox is already 14, 2 levels above Tuesday. Crumps, if your side lanes are 2 levels ahead of their laners, that's amazing. Everybody is just playing on point right now. Usually you're looking at one carry or an option to play through and win, but how do you beat that?
It looks like, so far, it's a team diff.
There you go.
And you beat it by changing the draft. That was my suspicion in the Gangplank being selected once again against the Lucian, but now they're just going to look for a major team fight and try to get a 5v5. That really is what CLG was trying to do in the first place. Yeah. Now they're going to have to do it at a big item disadvantage, which clearly is not where they want to be, as Lucian is strong enough to 1v1 without breaking a sweat. Their mid laner, that's without even Tomo being there.
Yeah, you just watch the diamond, yep. See, that's my pathing, and I'd bait, but I'd die taking that pathing. They'd actually be able to catch me, and I'd be like, great play, Riv, cost the game. Here's that Rift Herald we saw coming out from Phil as they were able to grab it over at the Rift Herald fight, and almost dropped the turret. He pushed down, and Fudge gets himself out to safety on this one. Arrow coming across right now, and now Cloud9 gets so much value out of this Hawkshot as well. They don't have that much more map to work with, so where's CLG going to be? You're always going to be able to find them, so good luck to CLG for finding, being able to find a corner to hide in before they initiate after this point. And we're 22 minutes on the clock, so Baron is waiting. As long as C9 can get one of these fights and find some ults they want, maybe they'll tempt CLG into a fight. 7 seconds for Infernal.
They've corralled them all the way back to the lane, and now they have to go through the fog of war if they want to get in here. 3 members out here, but they could still be soloing it. At least they know Lucian isn't here. They know that C9 is still ready to fight.
Fudge has locked down a bit of damage onto him, but they push back the Orianna. What an ultimate coming in from the side of Nori. A double kill now for Palafox, a triple kill for Palafox. Almost getting the quadra coming in, but Fudge is able to lock that one down. And an early fight here as they hit Tuesday up immediately in that, and I love the play because it pulled the ball far enough away that he could not activate that shockwave onto Fudge.
Complete obliteration out of C9 here. They had initial control. They pushed CLG back. Then when CLG back tried to take the control, they didn't even give them a chance to go for the dragon. They engaged onto them right away. The Trundle didn't even get to use ultimate when he got picked off, and it was just pull the trigger on every engaged tool as they could. Look at that. Fragus is already so low. Lucian is so far back, but there's nobody to follow through. This composition cannot dive. They have to peel for whoever engages, but by the time that they got jumped, everybody had to retreat. They don't have the damage to even burst them down nearly as quickly as this Azir and Lucian, who are both respectively unbelievably fed with.
It might be that clean sweep here. Counterlogic Gaming, they are going to have to pull out all the stops coming into the next game. Two blue sides here. They find themselves falling behind quite a bit to this Lucian top lane. Fudge having a tremendous game. Palafox showing up once again here. Zoe last game, Azir this game as they switch things up. And now Cloud9 looking to put the finishing touches on this one as they skirt around CLG a little bit whenever it isn't up to what they want to do, right? They know where they want to go. If they don't want to fight CLG, they wait a moment. If Fudge wants to solo the bot lane, he may just solo the bot lane. One last relentless pursuit forward. They know he's not going to be able to get it as a shockwave stops him in his tracks.
Yeah, that culling does so much damage so quickly. It looked like he was just sweeping away Tuesday's health bar. It pops the Zera, but they're going to get the tier 2. They get the tier 2 in the top side, so they're already removing all of the CLG's out of base objectives. And if they can just stay here without dying, they can definitely get inhibitors from this push, as Tuesday can get dove despite Fudge not having the culling.
Do you see Fudge getting Lucian third game?
He's not going to play it if you're not picking Gangplank. So I don't see CLG picking Gangplank again. That just does not make any more sense to me. You've already tried twice. You don't have that much room to experiment here. It's
right, because it was the set picked by Cloud9 and then Gangplank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they just presented the same rotation right away, I don't think it's going to work if they try it again. But here comes Fudge looking for Tuesday. The culling is almost up.
Oh!
2 shots.
Oh my god, the 1v1s, I love it. Crumbs, this is amazing right now. Cloud9 is just dominating each lane, but the little fights we're getting across the map are just lighting up the show. 10k gold lead here for Cloud9, and they are feeling confident as they go in. They'll get Fudge back in just a moment as he TPs back to the fight, and now they put a bit of work on the base of Counterlogic Gaming here in Game 2. Staring game point straight in the face here as they come into Game 3. We will see as C9 takes it slow, but there's a method to their madness.
If you love those 1v1s, you're going to love them now. Fudge has an infinity edge as those crits, if they were a little bit stronger, would have actually taken down Tuesday without the use of the ultimate. They're going to take all 3 inhibitors, just put the finishing touches. CLG is having such a hard time engaging here, but they're trying.
That's one of my favorite points. You try to invest so much in defending something at the last moment, you have to go for broke and defend that last bit of health, and CLG tries, but Cloud9 pushes back even harder. Still gets the inhibitor, and they're gonna walk out with everyone alive. Did I speak too soon? Shockwave goes down, but it's just outside the range, and Fragus is wearing a sombrero.
Oh, CLG holds on, but for how long, Riv? All inhibitors down. C9 has such a giant gold lead. Clearly, they don't even need any dragons or barons to end the game. They'll likely just reset. I think this is the team that knows when they're strong. They don't play as slow, as methodical as other teams do. They just know when they can win, and this is definitely that time. Look at the gold lead that the solo lanes have. What in the world
I was looking at?
26k between C9 solo laners
16.
and about 17, 16. Yeah, 17.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Jeez.
That's absurd. Just absolutely absurd as well. Both trying to be set up to kind of, succeed in their own rights. I'm sure Nori coming through with pressuring the jungle, Tomo finding Fragus all the time means Tuesday and Deus don't get that much support. If you know the counter's coming, no one's going to gank. And if that lane's being pressured already, Fudge gets to keep winning. Palafox gets to keep winning. C9's really been able to play this very smart.
And now they'll be rewarded with the Infernal Soul, so the initial burst that Lucian and Azir have is going to be that much greater. They might as well go for the Baron at this point. By the time they get back to the mid lane, you've got the objective back up, but they are going all the way to the bot lane. I love it, Riv. I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt for just going for the objective game, but seeing them push the advantage now, yes, it is a little bit riskier because if you lose the fight, CLG might be able to take the Baron, but if you have the confidence, you know you need to pull the trigger now, it's the right way to play.
Especially with the quickness right now, you have a kind of get-out-of-jail-free card. If there's a big initiation, Diamond goes off, the backline stays safe, you have another reset with Emperor's Divide. So they have a few chances to hang out here on the side of Cloud9. Mean! And Nori throwing it down. This man's as mean as his headband right here, like a Rabadon's death cap on that screen. Nori, though, just keep flexing on the top side. Oh, Fudge baiting one out, but they're able to get the turret as Nori is just going for the structures right now. Cat and mouse by Cloud9. It's just skirting around Counter Logic Gaming. And Nori stepping into the fray to try to get a few shots. That's going to be an initiation on the field. The shockwave goes down. Good damage on the Cloud9, but it's not going to be enough, maybe, as C9 is fighting back even harder. And Counter Logic Gaming is looking for safety on the fountain. Damage to the Nexus. Diamond is swinging that cape as much as he can. The super minions coming in with some punches. And game 2 goes to Cloud9. They get game point.
Even more dominant than game 1, Riv. Despite similarities in the draft, the game was nowhere near as bloody, and it was much more in C9's favor. CLG need to come up with something different. They are clearly giving too much to Fudge. This solution in the top lane is doing too much work, but if we ignore that completely, you still have Palafox doing too much in the mid lane as well. He kept over 10 CS per minute in the mid lane. I think at some point he was around 11 or 12, which is really impressive for a mid laner. Got solo kills on Tuesday. I mean, what else do you want
levels
out of
up.
somebody playing the Azir and Orianna? Yeah, the levels, the items, everything was great out of him. 700 gold bounty as well.
Yeah, when you're that many levels up as well, you know the breakpoints and you control the game, right? You're saying, hey, I'm hitting 11, hey, I'm hitting 16, we're good to go on everything else, and especially with that damage that he's throwing out, just disgusting. Seeing the way that they can continue to play aggressive, the whole W, if you will, just keep going forward. You don't do that on many champions, though. But over and over, the fights were more so outplayed because we did see it being a matchup where one or the other could win. But the dodging of the shockwaves, the setups, Palafox was all there.
That was the W key Azir there. Just keep going forward. Despite the Senna ultimate coming through. Actually, a little bit more mana in Orianna, and Senna could have been able to turn the tides of that fighter. Maybe if she ulted sooner and caught the shield on the Orianna, we would have seen a different fight. But if you need the support from the bottom lane to help you out like that, then you're still losing the 1v1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a few more plays from this game as well. The Baron fight that came up for Cloud9 is, you know, both teams tempting each other back and forth for this stuff. Obviously, CLG tempted to kind of stop C9 from getting a fight that would give them Baron, but things happen.
Once the Trundle dies right away, it is all she wrote for CLG. C9, Smell Blood in the Water, hard engaged. And I love the decision to split themselves between objective. It's something that we often don't see a lot, where teams will think that they are still under threat. C9 was aware enough to know, we just killed so many, we can actually take Baron and Dragon. That way we're not giving one of them up or have to reset and spend more time on the objective. It's that kind of foresight that allows them to end the game without having to take a Baron once again.
And C9 now has full control of what happens in this series. Obviously, CLG is still very much in it, but I think we're going to see another one of those engage comps, and Cloud9 has been fighting better. So the engage comp may not work. I think CLG could work with something maybe that has a poke to get in there before C9 has 100 HP or 100% HP from everybody. Something to turn the tables before you're getting into this, because it's been Cloud9 from the get-go.
All right, and let's see how the solo lanes of Cloud9 have done thus far. Excellent KDAs, first of all, if I may add. Not dying for your solo lanes is quite a feat. And the gold, I believe that's gold advantage that we have as well, that they had over their counterparts. That's just bonkers. 4.3, that's an Infinity Edge and potions and elixirs, rather.
It is pretty wild. We saw the early part of the game where Tuesday kept backing. He got back, the Unsealed Spellbook came back, was trying to keep up with what Palafox was doing. So I feel like it was a scatter almost the whole time. And then when he was able to roam first, even after a few of the fights, it makes it difficult when you can't catch up to an Azir who's 2 levels ahead, CS ahead as well, and really just controlling the game altogether. Now, bans for next game, what are you feeling before we go to break?
If you're going to take Gangplank early, ban Lucian in the first rotation CLG. If not, just don't pick it and you don't worry about it. That's the only thing I'd like to see changed from CLG because I know they can play assertive. No GP versus Lucian can give you more control for how your lanes play out and therefore more playmaking.
All right, so with that win, C9 brings us to what very well could be our final match of the series. Don't go away. On the other side of the break, we'll have that game for you when it starts.